Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in Raw.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw View. That's right, it's our pay-per-view review show where we take old pay-per-views for a variety of reasons and review them here at youtube.com/Steven Larson.
What?
We allow our Patreon $10 and up members.
Yes.
Are the elite class, $10 and up, to vote. We put 3 up, and then they vote on them. This week we're doing WrestleMania 25.
Yes.
We're also on the
What's going on here? Why is it getting off to such like a stilted start?
That was a weird yes you just gave me. You said, yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's right, Steve.
Well, earlier I wasn't paying attention. That's why I asked what. Because I was reading your notes to you.
That was weird. Anyways, we're on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steven Larson. Like I said, at the $10 mark, you can vote on which pay-per-view we're going to review.
Yeah.
And then we also have a big sale happening right now at ProWrestlingTees.com
We're not having
Going
it.
In
Pro
Raw.
Wrestling Tees is having it.
We're having a big sale over at ProWrestlingTees.com Going In Raw. Look at this shirt. You can get this shirt right here. You can get, look at this. Congress under Mecha Santa Larson. I just took this one off, so it's like gross with me. Look at that one right there. And then we have like 11 shirts over there, Larson.
Yeah.
Right now, 20% off.
Yes.
20% off.
Yes. What's the discount code? America?
America.
I think it's America.
Well, it's the big Independence Day. It's kind of post-Independence Day.
Yeah, sale. Summer sale.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have information up on our Twitter. Check it out.
Yeah, or just go to ProWrestlingTees.com Going In Raw.
Or that.
Link is in the description. All right, so after that stellar intro, Larson, we're going to talk about WrestleMania 25.
I will say we kind of got back into a good rhythm after the weirdness was out of the way.
When my partner looks at me and goes, "What?" It's going to throw me off a little bit.
Well, you should concentrate on what you're doing a little bit better, I guess.
I know, we should do some exercises where you throw stuff at me while I'm trying to do the intro. And
there you go.
Then I'll be good. Doesn't matter. We'll be
okay.
getting shot at.
All right, we'll start doing that.
Anyways, so we're going to look at WrestleMania 25. These work probably, in my opinion, these work best. And you mentioned this before camera, kind of. These work best when the wrestling is when there's something unique about the show. I prefer personally when they're bad. And so at the end of the show, we're going to give our patrons, or we're going to let you guys know
the 3 options they have for next week's.
Exactly. And they're all bad. They're all hilariously bad. It's all stuff that we can talk shit about. Because that's what we love to do here at Going In Raw. This didn't have a lot that you could talk shit about necessarily.
Apart from a Kid Rock performance, no.
Then I actually skipped through a lot of that. There were 3 songs.
I sat through the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
Not because I wanted to, because I wanted to watch the whole show.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind that in 2009.
Yeah, that was weird.
He was still popular, but then I remember this was the time when he had that song that was a ripoff of both Warren Zevon's Werewolf in London and Sweet Home Alabama. And that was on the radio a lot.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what he closed his set with.
Okay.
See, if you had watched it, you'd have known that.
No. Okay, here's the thing. Watching WrestleMania 25, even if I watched all the Kid Rock performance, I never would have known from exclusively watching that he was still popular at the time.
I just kind of put that together.
Okay.
Because, he had his first surge of popularity with that first album of his.
Ba with the Ba.
Yeah, that stupid song.
But that was like 99, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was late 90s, early 2000s.
It was early 2000s, I think.
And then,
I
he
just
couldn't
figured
maintain that level of success, and then he had that song, and then suddenly he was on the radio all over the place.
I just figured they brought him in as a nostalgia act. I didn't know that he was still like
kind
a thing.
of. No, I think he wasn't necessarily still a thing. He was a thing again.
Yeah, okay. But not as big as a thing as he was before.
But it's funny you mentioned nostalgia, because that song is all about nostalgia.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's why it rips off 2 old songs.
But beyond that, it was just kind of a regular WrestleMania.
Yeah, there were some good matches.
Yeah, I mean, it had one great. The reason why we're doing this is because last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, we reviewed the first Hell in a Cell between HBK and Undertaker, and this, of course, has one of their. This has the match that the WWE, anyways, claims is the greatest match ever.
I believe so. Oh, in WWE history, yes.
Yeah, well, that's the only to them. That's the only history that matters. HBK versus Undertaker. That's the one before the retirement match, which we actually preferred.
But we'll get into that more.
Their match 26. But beyond that, like, it was just sort of a regular WrestleMania. There was, I will say this, like, there were a couple instances that I noticed of this. So this was 2009. It was sort of in a weird, certain people are starting to look older. Like, Triple H looked really weird.
Yeah.
He looked like he was maybe off something or on something different.
Well, I think part of it too is we're used to him looking old with short hair or no hair.
Yeah.
And this was him looking old with lots of hair.
Yeah.
I think that was part of it.
We're used to one of two things. Baby Triple H, where he had like a fuller face and long hair.
Yes.
Or Triple H now, where he just looks like a football. In 2009, he was right in between.
He was both those things.
He was both those things. Shane was both those things, because Shane was like babyface Shane, but his hair was gray.
Just starting to turn gray. Yeah.
But it was kind of all over gray. It wasn't. He didn't do the temple up thing.
But it wasn't as gray as it is now.
Right now, it's chalk white.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to think who else. Everybody was in the weird in between.
And then you have Randy Orton, who looks the exact same, just way younger.
Yeah, but even Orton, like when Orton like 2005 Orton and 2009 Orton, I feel like 2009 and 2017 Orton look very similar.
They do. They have the same haircut, same trunks.
Yeah, and he's already got cracks in his skin.
Yeah, he just looks a little bit older.
Whereas like 2004 Randy Orton, like 5 years earlier, was a baby.
Yeah.
Like he was baby.
Well, he was 23, 24.
Yeah, but then by the time he hits like 28, he already looks like he's 48.
Well, that's being a wrestler, I'm sure, is a hard life.
Yeah, man. That was before he got
on the road.
Maybe that was like right before he got his bus, and then he started he just stopped aging completely.
Could be.
Big Show was like in a weird thing too. Now he looks weird. He looks weird now. He's got the big beard, which is cool.
Yeah,
but he's old.
Yeah, he's in really good shape. He still has kind of old man body.
Yeah,
he's in spectacular shape.
He's in weird good shape. Like, he's in good shape. But I'm so used to him being tall and round, that it's just off-putting.
It's
I don't say off-putting. It's
no,
just
I know
weird.
what you mean. It's kind of shocking to see him in his early WCW days.
Oh yeah,
where he's super athletic.
Oh, that's just weird. Him doing drop kicks and shit.
I know.
That's weird. And it's weird that he was relevant in 2009.
I know.
It's because it's kind of a modern-ish pay-per-view. I mean, it's less than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like a modern-ish pay-per-view, but he's totally relevant. He's like in one of the main event scenes. Mm-hmm. It's all strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
But anyways, it opened up with a little video, a nicely done video montage where everybody was talking about their favorite WrestleMania moments, the biggest WrestleMania moments. Cena, Edge, Triple H talks about watching like WrestleMania 3, I think, and saying, I thought it'd be the coolest thing in the world if I could be involved in that. And I just thought of like his Warrior beating him in 2 minutes or something.
Yeah, no, it was less than that, I think.
Yeah, I put here 13 seconds. I don't know if that's true or not. Because I think it took longer than 13 seconds for Warrior to no sell a pedigree and then give him a Warrior splash.
So maybe it's like a minute.
I think it was like a minute 9 or something weird like that. That's 69 seconds, Larson. And then of course they open up by saying it's the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. Not actually true. It was the 24th anniversary of WrestleMania. It was simply WrestleMania 25. But they make a point. And I was like, wait a second.
Don't you count the year of the first year?
Because there was no 0, it wouldn't have actually been the 25th anniversary.
Well, I mean, that's kind of splitting hairs, honestly.
Yeah, I know, but the internet was apparently on fire about that.
Really?
Yeah, because the WrestleMania 26 would have actually been the 25th anniversary.
I understand that, but that's a silly thing to get upset about.
Well, it's the internet. Everything on the internet is silly.
I didn't know they were that silly all the way back in 2009.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? We were silly online back in 1996. Yeah, AOL chat room.
But we weren't making a huge deal about nothing, were we?
Yeah, of course we were. We were kids. So. Somebody named Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah, she's one of the Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was
sort
of a failed pop star.
Oh, she had some success.
Some success.
But not now. But yeah, back then.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Who had more success, in your opinion, after Wikipediaing both these people? Nicole Scherzinger, or who's the country artist that did the last one that we saw?
Oh, Nicole had way more success.
You think so?
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
But he was a solo artist. I don't think she did anything outside of her groups.
I don't know about that, but I know the Pussycat Dolls had several pop hits.
I forget what that guy's name was. Anyway.
Yeah, I do too.
A lot of pyro to open the show too.
Yeah.
So good for them.
It's WrestleMania. They're going to have the pyro.
To open up WrestleMania 25, there was a Money in the Bank ladder match. Actually, a hell of a match.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's see here. Long hair. Do we agree on this? CM Punk with long hair but no beard. Worst Punk. Poorest designed
Yeah,
Punk.
I think so.
Because with beard, he looked great.
Mm-hmm.
With short hair and beard, he looked great. With short hair, even with no beard, he looked great.
Yeah.
Long hair and no beard, he just didn't have that cool edge to him.
Yeah, I agree.
He always had really cool merch, though.
Yeah, that shirt he was wearing was pretty awesome.
With the two fists, that was rad.
I always liked the one that had the rib cage.
Yeah, that was cool. He always had really cool merch. MVP, he came out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand that dude's gear.
Mm-hmm.
By all accounts, he's a decent wrestler.
He was super over too.
He was over.
Okay, he was over. You know who got? I think maybe the loudest pop? Christian. When he came out, he got a massive pop.
That's weird, right? That's weird. Do you think Christian was underused? Was not used to the best of their ability, or do you think that they pretty much tried everything they could with him? I mean, I know you weren't watching hardcore at the time.
No. I mean, if you asked me who is the star of Edge and Christian, I would say Edge.
Right.
And that's not even thinking about their careers.
Because Christian was kind of in the world title scene for Christian was kind of akin to Dolph Ziggler. Like they did both get the world championship, mainly when the world championship was not as prestigious as, because they kind of flip sometimes. Like when Triple H and Batista were fighting for the big gold belt, that was the big belt.
That was top belt, yeah.
Right. And then Cena got the WWE title and they kind of flipped.
Yeah.
But at the time when Christian got the big gold belt, and same for Dolph Ziggler, when he got the big gold belt, the WWE title was more prestigious.
Oh, yeah.
And they both had really, really short, underwhelming runs.
Yeah, because Christian was in a program with Randy Orton when he won his.
Right, yeah. What do you think about Christian's music?
Which one was it? I like the one that goes, Christian! That's my favorite. That was before this, I think.
Finley was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the deal? I had never known that he came out with a leather jacket and one single football pad attached to it.
Yeah, that's kind of neat, though.
And you gonna start wearing that?
And he had the shillelagh.
Yeah, he had the shillelagh. I like that. I like that they used to book Finley kind of strong.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out with Hornswoggle.
Mm-hmm.
Shelton Benjamin, literally, he looked like a walking championship belt, and he didn't even need a big robe to do it.
I know.
Because he was going by the Gold Standard at the time, which is a fantastic nickname. And so all of his ring gear was like gold, and he looked really cool.
Yeah.
He was a stud.
Yeah, he was.
And he had the spot of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways.
Speaking of which, let's get right into that because.
And also Kofi Kingston.
Yes.
And Mark Henry. They're both
so there's a huge ladder step on the outside, and everybody's kind of fighting at on the outside, right outside the ring. So Shelton Benjamin scales that ladder to the very top and does a flip off it.
Yeah. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
That was very terrifying because they caught him well enough but it wasn't like a trust exercise catch. It was more like, let's fall as he's falling catch.
Let's break his fall.
Let's break his fall, but let's make it look like he might die right here.
Because he fell on his shoulders, I believe. His upper back and shoulders.
Like they caught his lower area.
Yeah.
But not so much his shoulders.
No.
Ugh.
I know.
Very dangerous.
And then there was that spot where he's supposed to do a sunset flip powerbomb off the ladder onto MVP, and MVP just botched it.
Yeah.
Like he decided he didn't want to take the move.
Yeah.
And that looked like Shelton could have hurt himself.
Some of the stuff Kofi Kingston was doing, especially as it pertains to ladders.
Yeah.
I always feel like he was going to get his ankle twisted in a ladder and then just be done. Like his ankle would just get destroyed.
And there's that great spot where Mark Henry's holding up the ladder and Kofi tries to climb it. Sort of like we saw with Becky Lynch
on
the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mark Henry pulls the ladder away. Kofi falls. When he falls, he gets his foot caught in between rungs of the ladder.
Yeah.
A little bit, and then.
But Mark Henry kind of catches him.
Yeah.
Like I think he was supposed to catch him a little higher, but Kofi, it looked like I think if he hadn't have actually caught him where he did, Kofi could have really messed up his ankle.
Yes.
But then he's Kofi Kingston. He's kind of like rubbery, I think.
Mark Henry gives him a world's strongest slam onto the ladder.
Yeah, that was cool.
After that botch of the sunset flip powerbomb, Shelton Benjamin picks up MVP and just power bombs outside the ring.
Yeah, that was rad.
Onto a couple people.
CM Punk ended up going over after kicking Kane off the ladder, right?
Yeah, this was his second Money in the Bank ladder match win.
That's right, yeah. And
consecutive.
And he still wasn't. I think Punk was kind of over. I think people kind of liked him. I don't think he was nearly as over as the front office wanted him to be, which is why they would always jack with his championship.
It's so weird that because it was during his first reign, after his first Money in the Bank ladder match win, they had that thing where they took him out of the title match when he was champion.
Yeah.
And then they said, okay, well, it's been a few months. Let's try this again.
Yeah.
It's strange to me.
Yeah, it is weird. He had a weird time in WWE. I'm telling you, man, once he cut his hair, though, that's when he turned it on.
Yep.
Well, no.
First, he had to grow the beard out.
The straight edge, he grew and then he lost the hair versus hair match. He was rad with that beard, man. That Royal Rumble, I think we did a book of the match on it once. The Royal Rumble that he had a pretty impressive showing in, and he had the full beard, and he had all the chest hair and stuff. It looked weird. Yeah. He was rad.
All right, after that was Kid Rock performance.
I wonder whatever happened to CM Punk. Next up was the Kid Rock performance.
Literally 90% of the audience act like they could not give.
Nobody was cheering for this.
A damn.
Nobody was. There were three. He played 3 songs, and during the last one was when
I felt like it was more than 3.
Oh, really?
I think it was 4.
Really?
I think so.
I thought I read it was 3, but you might be right. During the last one, the entrance for the low. I'm going to say this straight up. Probably the lowest point in the history of the women's division in the WWE. I know there have been bra and panty matches. I know they've done Mae Young giving birth to a hand. I know they've done Trish Stratus kissing Vince McMahon's beehole. They had Vince McMahon like kissing a lot of divas. But this was bad.
It was bad.
Because you had 25 divas, women's division wrestlers, in this match. They brought in a couple of former divas. That Sunny was in this match.
Yeah.
Mickey James, I think, was still with the company.
Yeah, she was. I think Maurice was the champion at the time. I thought they mentioned that.
Oh, okay. Natalia was around still. Yes. The Bellas were around. I think they were pretty new. Mm-hmm.
Victoria was in the match.
Beth Phoenix was in the match.
And also Santino Marella was in the match as Santina.
And Santina won the Divas Battle Royal. Like, the commentators treated it like, number one, some of the spots, and I recall, like, one of the Bellas, I think it was Brie, I don't know, was involved in an elimination. Somebody was already on the apron, and she did some sort of like head scissors thing, which led to an elimination. It was really ugly, and it looked super dangerous for everybody involved. There were a lot of ugly botches in this match, usually dealing with eliminations, and the commentators treated it like it was just an absolute joke in the first place. Like, who's looking at that saying, "Oh yeah, this will,"
I don't know.
Look, I know for a fact there were quality female wrestlers at the time.
Yes.
There were a couple in the damn ring.
Yes.
Natalia is one of them.
Yes.
Beth Phoenix is another one.
Yes.
And yet they had Santina win, and then after he won, he did a really grotesque, like, gyrating dance thing that I think was supposed to be for comedy effect. Santina was a fantastic comedy wrestler, too.
Yeah, he could be.
But this was weird.
It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't good.
It was not
all.
good.
No.
Not good at all.
Like, this was only 8 years ago.
I know.
Weird how much things have changed since
I know.
then, Anyways.
Next, we had Chris Jericho take on a team of 3 legends.
This was great, man. This was Jericho at, like, full heel.
Yeah.
Slow-talking Jericho.
Yeah, Roddy Piper, Ricky Steamboat, Jimmy Snuka. Now, I want to take this opportunity to talk about how amazing Ricky Steamboat was.
Oh,
because
man.
you see Piper come out. He's got a gut on him.
Yeah.
But other than that, he looks like he can still
he looked good.
work the ring a little bit.
Yeah.
Snuka comes out.
He did a drop kick.
Yeah, Snuka comes out, and he didn't look good.
No, he didn't. He was like a million years old at this point, though.
Steamboat comes out.
Yeah.
And looks like he could legitimately still wrestle.
Yeah, and he did.
He did. He was a wonder.
And this was so surprising and shocking to the crowd. They were so behind him.
Oh, yeah.
Especially down the stretch. It was just him because this was elimination, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Snuka taps out the wall of Jericho first, and then Jericho pins Piper after running Enziguri. And then, it was just one-on-one Jericho versus Steamboat. And, man, it was at least a 4.5-star match from that point on.
Steamboat had lost maybe a quarter of a step from 1989. You know?
He looked great.
The great thing is, Ric Flair was out there. He was like, their manager or whatever. And there was a couple shots deep into the Steamboat Jericho sequence where the camera caught Ric Flair's face, and he looked so delighted for Steamboat. He looked so over the moon, delighted at his old, all-time rival. One of the all-time rivalries, one of the all-time series is him and Steamboat from back in the day. And he looked so delighted that Steamboat was putting on such a great show.
Yep.
And the crowd, who were not expecting this at all, so into it.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good. Jericho did end up going over with a code breaker.
Yep.
Then he taunts Mickey Rourke.
First Flair runs into the ring.
Oh, Flair was about to throw.
Attacks Jericho, but then Jericho hits Flair with the code breaker. And then Jericho's all taunting Mickey Rourke, who's sitting ringside. This is after the wrestler came out.
Right, and Jericho's running down Mickey Rourke saying, you're a lot, all these guys are like your character from the wrestler, a bunch of old has-beens, and you're an old has-been, Mickey Rourke. And finally Mickey Rourke takes enough or can't take anymore, gets into the ring and knocks out Chris Jericho after a little bit of a back-and-forth sparring. Mickey Rourke was a legitimate boxer.
He did box for a while,
He did box for a while,
yes.
yeah.
He quit acting, I think, to try to become a boxer.
That's why his face looks weird, because apparently he took so much punishment boxing that he needed to get plastic surgery, but then the plastic surgery got botched. So, yeah. He was a stud back in the day, man. That dude was a looker.
He was a handsome man.
He was. So yeah, that was a decent segment. It was worth it for the Steamboat stuff.
Oh man, Steamboat was outstanding.
He was fantastic. That was so great to see. And then, I tried to look up the stuff that you were talking about with his brain injury, and I couldn't find.
I found it in an article from Deadspin or something like that.
Deadspin, they're good. Okay.
In the fallout of Shibata's injury.
Oh, interesting. Okay, all right.
So it's possible I could have got something confused. I mean, definitely there was a wrestler in one paragraph. They mentioned Ricky Steamboat getting injured, and then a wrestler getting hurt so bad that their hemisphere of their brain tried to split apart or something like that.
They might have gotten details on it. All I was ever able to find with Steamboat was that he had an aneurysm 2 days after getting beat down by the original Nexus.
Oh.
Because they did a thing, I want to say on Raw, where they beat him up. And I don't know exactly where the spot was, but it looked like it might have been a botched spine buster where he really hit his head against the canvas.
Yeah.
Because, like Foley says, one of the first things to go when you're a wrestler is your ability to tuck your neck muscles. And so it might have been that.
There's something here from 2014 from Concussion Inc.
That mainly mentions the aneurysm.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the one that I saw as well. But
here it says here.
Oh no, you're right. That is it.
Oh, his bleeding on the brain was so deep in the brain that it says here the hemispheres of his brain were trying to separate.
Ugh. That's so dark. That's so messed up. Yeesh.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And that's what made him retire. So he was still wrestling.
They said that incident happened in 2010, so that's just a year after this.
2010. That's right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I know. Ugh. Good. Anyways, Steamboat was good here though.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Next, wonderful, delightful, Broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
Brother Nero. Yes. Yeah, this was actually one of their last matches
before going to TNA.
I think it actually was their last match. I forget if brother Nero did his CM Punk thing before or after this. No, he did it after it.
Yeah, it was SummerSlam.
SummerSlam
2009.
2009. Yeah, he had the loser leaves town thing. But yeah, no, this is a good match. It was an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah,
because they're the Hardy Boys.
Yeah. Some good spots. Jeff tries to do Whisper in the Wind, and Matt hits him in the leg with a chair.
Yeah. Jeff also came off of a ladder and hit nothing. He was supposed to hit Matt Hardy.
Yeah, he's trying to do a leg drop.
Yeah, he's trying to do a leg drop.
Yeah, that was at the finish, and then Matt put a chair over his head and gave him a twist.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. It was pretty nasty. Dude, I have no idea how Jeff Hardy's still wrestling.
I know.
Like, that's one of those, like, I think that's one of those freakish genetic body things where it's like your body can just take more damage than other people.
Yeah.
Because, dude, he came off that ladder from high and just landed.
I know, right in his tailbone.
That's just falling on your tailbone.
You're compressing your spine.
Yeah. From, like, really high up.
From, like, 12, 15 feet.
Ugh, that was nasty.
Yeah, I don't know how he could do that for 20-plus years.
Yeah.
But there's a couple cool spots. Jeff set up 2 tables, one on top of each other on the outside. Put Matt between them.
That was cool, yeah.
And did a splash through him.
Yeah, it was great because it was, yeah, like you said, it was 2 tables on top of each other, like all folded, like unfolded, yeah. And on top of that, just to add some stank to it, there was a chair on
top of Matt, in between the tables. I know
that's gonna do much of anything.
I know.
Probably gonna protect him more than anything.
Could be.
Yeah.
But overall, fun match.
Yeah. Next up was my favorite match on the card because it was only 13 seconds long.
Hold on, you forgot about the quick bit backstage between Randy Orton and the Legacy, where they were just standing around the locker room together in silence.
Oh yeah, and that's when I got a good look at Randy Orton's face. I was like, okay, let me analyze his face I'm like, he looks
the same but young.
The same, but kind of like he's got less cracks, but otherwise he looks the exact same as he does now. But
and I swear he still wears those trunks.
But like 5 years earlier, he was such a baby.
I know.
Orton, 2004. I'm saying
he had longer hair. I think he still had
he was poofier.
Yeah, he still was carrying a little extra weight.
He was poofier. Look at that. Yeah, more hair.
But also he was 24 years old. 23 or 24.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that.
And he'll probably only been wrestling WWE for a year or two.
Jeez, look at those abs.
I know.
My goodness. Man, I'm going to get into the gym today. Anyways, yeah, there was that. And then we had...
Yes. JBL versus Rey Mysterio Jr. for the Intercontinental title. The introduction to this match took about 20 times longer than the actual match itself.
JBL came out, and it was obvious that this was his last match because, man, he looked kind of like me.
Was this his last match?
Yeah, it was the last match. Yeah, when he said I quit, he literally quit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he came out. He had won the Intercontinental Championship a month earlier from CM Punk. I don't know exactly. I mean, he had a great run as champion 4 years prior to this.
Yeah.
But and he had sporadically come back a little bit here and there. He won the Intercontinental Championship from Punk. I don't know why or what the circumstances were. He comes out and yeah, he was like, he was never like
he's never a specimen.
He was never trim. No. He was never trim, but he was always filled out.
Yeah.
I
know his arms looked not terribly muscular.
It looked like he at that point was only doing cardio. Because there didn't seem to be a lot of like actual like muscle growth.
Yeah.
Like no development.
Yeah, his body didn't seem firm.
Because I think these days he's just simply trim.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, it didn't seem firm. Just seemed like it was sagging everywhere.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and then especially like his love handles, which like I think they usually just came out. He just was wide waisted, but it was like he was trimming down here, but then it was like
they still kind of spilled out of his trunks.
Yeah, not kind of. So JBL comes down. He cuts a great JBL promo, and even his face was thin.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
Yeah, and he's running down Texas, I think, because he's like, I always knew I'd come back to champion as Texas, and then I think he ran down.
He
Texas.
talks about how there's no champions in Texas or something like that. Mysterio.
Then the Joker comes out.
Yeah, comes wearing Joker gear.
Joker gear.
Rey Mysterio must really love that Joker.
He's not Brand X.
He did not buy that from Brand X.
Oh, man.
So JBL gives, once both competitors are in the ring, it seems like it takes 10 minutes for everybody to get to the ring. JBL, before the bell rings, just boots Mysterio right in the face.
Yeah, that was great.
And sends him to the corner.
I wish he just pinned him and that was the match.
He had to wait for the bell to ring. That's what he's saying. He's asking the ref to ring the bell, but the ref was checking on Mysterio.
Yeah.
So that minute and a half was enough for Mysterio to get his wits about him again after taking a boot to the face.
Right.
Because Mysterio wins in 21 seconds.
Yeah. He
It's like
hit
a drop kick,
a drop kick.
619, and a top rope splash.
Yeah, it was a drop kick. He hit him on the back to line him up on the ropes, and then the 619, and then a splash. Yeah, and that was it. It was all very quick.
Yeah.
And the crowd was very happy because everybody loves quick matches.
And everybody loves that Joker.
Not Brand. JBL Intercontinental Championship reign was Brand X. And that's where my notes end, so I'm going to go over to your notes now.
Cool. Next, we have what WWE, I believe, considers the greatest match in WWE history, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
It's a really good match.
It is really good, but I know we're both partial to the match the following year. And I don't mean this to be the segment of the show where we talk crap about a match that's loved and respected, because I like it too.
Yeah, it's a good match.
I just feel like the story from their match the following year, WrestleMania 26, was more riveting and more dramatic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really do like the juxtaposition, though, of Shawn Michaels literally descending from heaven, from on high, bathed in white light, in white gown, like gospel-esque music playing, and then doom, doom, doom.
And then
I'm cute.
The fireworks come up in front of him.
Yeah.
There's no transition of music. The fireworks end, they cue his theme, and he starts doing the
starts
HBK
doing
thing.
his stripper dance. I think I'm cute. I know I'm
So
cute.
I remember hearing that's what the theme of the match was. It was heaven versus hell.
It was, yeah.
But that theme didn't really play out during the match itself.
No, it really didn't.
Which it could have been interesting if they had worked that premise more than just an intro.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far you really want to go. I'll put it this way. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how far you want the WWE to go with that. Because didn't they do that one year? Like Vince McMahon had like tag team with God. Look how that turned out. It was terrible.
I think it was against HBK.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I'm not saying take it that far, but
The theme of good versus evil, as opposed to what this match was, which was simply small guy versus big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick guy versus strong guy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you on that.
And the match was kind of a tale of two halves, where the first half was a lot of back and forth, striking and stuff. Then after, the Undertaker almost killed himself.
Oh man, so dude, there were two over the top rope spots that looked horrible. The first one was when HBK flew out the ring.
Oh, did the moonsault, and the Undertaker not only evaded, but like pushed him further and quicker to the ground.
He hastened his descent.
Yeah.
He was up there and just
And it sounds like this when HBK hits the mat. It's loud.
Dude, it's not good, man. It's not good.
And then that just blew out the audio.
And then
Sorry
the second
if anybody
one,
listening to this on headphones.
No, this isn't live. I'll fix it. And then because it did sound exactly like that. And then the second one, what you just referenced,
Shortly thereafter,
exactly. So apparently the guy who played Domino out of Deuce and Domino in the WWE.
Yeah, he was the camera guy, right?
He was the camera guy. Well, I'm assuming he was a fake camera guy, unless they taught him how to work a camera. I don't know how that worked. But anyways, he was Undertaker was going to do not a suicide dive. He was going to do
a leap over the top rope.
Yeah, just a leap over the top rope onto Shawn Michaels, and he was supposed to accidentally hit the cameraman instead. Well, the Undertaker, number one, okay, the thing that I like about most suicide dives when you do it through the ropes is that all you're doing is just launching yourself into a guy, and usually you just push them to stop your momentum, and your legs go like this.
But also, you're going forward.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not much of an arc.
Right. Undertaker, I don't know what he really hoped to accomplish, because regardless of where that dude was, the Undertaker was going like this.
Oh, I know.
He was like headed downwards like this.
But he's heading downwards like this. If the cameraman was one step
closer,
closer,
yeah, I know.
There's a better chance instead of doing this, it's that.
Yeah.
Which I think was the intended effect.
And Shawn Michaels grabbed the guy and brought him where he was supposed to be, kind of. But even then, the guy didn't move into the correct position.
Not early enough.
No.
Right as the Undertaker's about to land, he drops the camera and tries to catch him.
Yeah. But it's like way too late. And the great thing is, after it's already done, like in the split second that the Undertaker has settled onto Domino's body, Domino like grabs him like this, like he's trying to make things better all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like he's like, ugh.
He's like, no, I caught him.
That's way too late, man.
I caught him.
That is way too late.
That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't fire me. They did. Anyways, yeah.
It looked like Undertaker landed right on his head.
That looked horrible.
Right on his head.
That looked bad.
And there was like an indentation on the mat out there.
Ugh,
I don't know if that's from his head or the camera dropping or what, but it
was
looked
nasty.
bad. It looked
That
real
looked
bad. But after that spot, it was like everybody had infinite finishers. Because it was finisher, kick out, finisher, kick out, finisher, kick out.
Yeah. Multiple sweet chin musics.
Couple tombstones, a last ride.
Last ride, yeah. That was cool, yeah. HBK when he countered the tombstone with a DDT.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taker kicked out of sweet chin music.
I just felt like the second match had a better story, more drama, better flow to it.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. A lot of people like this match.
No.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
Yeah, no. I'll have to watch that second one at some point.
Yeah, I watched it. I think around WrestleMania season.
I know I watched it within the last 12 months, and I do remember liking it better than this one. And for the reasons you're talking about, I just would need to watch. I need to watch it.
Yeah.
HBK
is like a lot more defiant. That's when we're at the end.
Oh no, that was it.
Pulling himself up.
That was it. That was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. No, that was really good. It was his last gasp.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that.
And defiant till the end.
Yeah. That was good stuff.
But anyways, the finish was cool. Saw Undertaker catch HBK midair while HBK is trying to do a top rope moonsault.
Yeah, that was fun.
And gives him a tombstone. There's a lot of really good spots, some good storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of wish they had incorporated the theme, not literally, but just a little bit more.
Yeah, man.
Like if
HBK's burning a Bible into.
Well, if like HBK
it touches Undertaker's skin, it sizzles
if HBK
up.
is a man of God, why is he like cutting corners during the match?
May I also remind you though that last time we actually saw satanic powers in a match.
I know.
So what you're saying is
they involve projecting images in the screen. I know.
So you'd like to see shots of Isaac Yankem.
So I don't know. I don't know how you would do it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
no, little things like you just said, cutting corners, staying true to,
or at least
maybe something involving,
or at least say HBK's historically, he's been a great heel historically speaking. So maybe there's a battle within him.
Yeah.
He's in a situation where normally I would cut corners, but being a religious man now, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How about he comes out with like a bunch of disciples and they reenact the Last Supper at the top of the ramp? A bunch of local jobbers. That'd be great. He comes out in like Jesus garb, but it's like cheap Halloween costume Jesus. Oh man, that's terrible. Next up we had.
Well, here, did you watch the recap?
Of course I
package?
did. Okay, this is so bad. Like, this is the kind of shit we talk about when we're like, man, we just went to the G1 specials in New Japan, and then we got to watch this.
I know.
I mean, thankfully, they don't really do this anymore for the most part. Not to this degree.
Yeah, this was very soap opera.
This was so soap opera. It was so bad. You have 28 writers on staff, and this is what you're going to give us? Edge and Vicky Guerrero are a weird, gross couple. And then, I mean, like, I love Vicky Guerrero. She's great. And I know this is all a heel thing. But come on, man. Once we've seen Edge and Lita literally have sex live on air, anything down from that, this is gross. It's all about Lita. And then like Lita, and then Vicky Guerrero is like banging Big Show on like GTV.
Yeah.
And John Cena has that footage.
Yeah.
And he's being like cheeky mischief guy.
But also Edge took an opportunity to get himself an Elimination Chamber match and beat Cena for the title.
Well, yeah. Well, once again, Edge does a lot of neat things.
He's done a lot of neat things. We still have to do that count out.
Yeah, I know we do.
Top 10 neat things Edge has done.
Edge is done. Yeah, exactly.
What's number one on that list?
Oh, live sex shop.
Of course.
Yeah. Doesn't get neater than that, man. Nipple. Let's see here. So, yeah, this match was what? Oh, yeah. Vicky was ringside in a wheelchair with Chavo Guerrero. Yeah. He was around.
Yeah, I think because Vicky got speared or something. Something happened to her. It happened in the package, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, but wasn't she faking? Because didn't she get speared?
Yeah, she did later on, too.
Through the okay, on this one, too, yeah. So
the first half of this match was it wasn't bad, just a lot of back and forth stuff. Nothing in terms of storytelling other than Big Show is dominant,
yeah, they were
strong,
trying to
get him out of the equation so they could fight.
I mean,
but not even
Big
really
Show
that.
was still like he was still good enough that he could pull off some kind of cool spots. There was one spot where like what was it? Cena came flying at him and Big Show just sort of swatted him out of the air.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. Although, man, didn't Edge at one point get both Edge and Big Show up for an AA?
You mean Cena?
I'm sorry, Cena.
Yeah,
he had Big Show and then Edge tried to get on top of Big Show and then he like got off him. That Cena's unnatural.
He's pretty strong.
It's crazy.
That was the finish of the match too.
Yeah, that was the finish of the match.
Because Cena gave AAs to both Big Show and Edge and pins for the win. So I kind of feel like Big Show was just in that match, so Edge didn't have to eat a pin.
Right. Next up, we had the 2009 WWE Hall of Fame class.
What's awesome is that Ricky Steamboat, the night before WrestleMania, inducted to the Hall of Fame, had a match, went and changed into his tux, and was out there for the ceremony.
Yep,
and was pretty neat.
This was the year that Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And they gave him an extended sequence where he rode his ATV down the ring.
What was Stone Cold's? His last match was 2003?
Yep. They kept on talking about how this was like going to be his last appearance in WWE ring or something like that. They said during
I missed that.
this whole
weird.
thing. But he drove his four-wheeler down to the ring.
Yeah.
Did the whole beer thing for quite some time. Went down to JR, gave him beer. It was fun.
What year did they start doing the big Ballyhoo Hall of Fame stuff? Because for a long time
It was just like a banquet.
Yeah, it was like a banquet thing, and then they started like bringing them out on the WrestleMania stage, making a big televising it. I feel like maybe it was because I don't remember it being during the Attitude Era.
No. I don't think the Hall of Fame. Oh, it did exist. I think they started the Hall of Fame in like 95 or
96, I think. Yeah, 95, something like that. So then we had the main event, which was Randy. See, like we're just ripping through this freaking pay-per-view because like there's not a lot to talk about.
Not really. 93 is when they started the Hall of Fame.
The main event was Randy Orton versus Triple H. So Randy Orton had been terrorizing the McMahon family.
Yeah.
And at one point,
2004 was the first year they started doing stuff to coincide with WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
WrestleMania 20.
Okay, let's run down the headliners really quick.
2004?
From 2004.
2004 headliner was... Well, that was just a deeper year. Well, there's Harley Race, there's Ventura, there's Slaughter, there's Junkyard Dog.
Okay, so there was no real like headliner the way we know him now.
2005,
so 2005 Hogan, 2006 Brett,
2007 was Dusty.
Really, he was a headliner. Interesting.
Yeah, 2008 was Ric Flair. 2009 was Stone Cold.
Okay, all right.
2010 was DiBiase.
So that was kind of my question: is that his last match was 2003? DiBiase was a headliner.
Yeah, 2010 was DiBiase, Inoki, Wendy Richter, Mad Dog Vachon, Gorgeous George, and Stu Hart.
Wow.
But then 2011 was HBK.
Yeah, then it kicked into gear.
2012 was Edge,
Mick Foley, and Bruno. That's right,
13,
Bruno.
And then Warrior in 14, and then 2015 was Kevin Nash with the headliner, but I think Macho Man is the real headliner there.
Oh, that's right. He was the headliner. Should have been Macho Man. That's weird.
And then 2016 was Sting.
Kurt Angle.
And 2017.
Yeah, so they spent like basically 5 years just doing all the old timers, all the back catalog of old timers still in the good graces of Vince McMahon. That's why it took so long to get to Stone Cold. These days, as soon as you retire, you're going to next year. Like Edge had it like the year after.
Yeah, I think part of that was the circumstances around retirement, though. He was forced to retire.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think that's probably why. I mean, Foley didn't get in until that same year.
I wonder if they want to do Daniel Bryan.
I don't know. He deserves it.
He's got it. Do you think if they said, hey, we're putting you in the Hall of Fame, contractually, can he say no?
I don't think so. I don't know, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they'll do that next year at WrestleMania before he leaves to go wrestle again.
Yeah, they need to not do that. Like, wait till he's good.
Wait till he has actually retired.
Yeah. Anyways,
Randy Orton versus Triple H. Randy Orton apparently still upset about Evolution kicking him out, which happened like 5 years prior, 4 or 5 years prior.
Yeah.
Has been wreaking havoc on Triple H and the McMahon family as a whole.
Because by this time it was known that Triple H was part of the family. He had swindled his way into the McMahon clan so he could run the company 10 years later. And yeah, so there was like a great video package, him just terrorizing people.
Punting Vince, punting Shane.
And then like handcuffing Triple H to the ring post while he does a draping DDT on Stephanie.
And then kisses her.
Oh, yeah.
And he also RKO'd her at another point.
Ouch. So yeah, he was wreaking havoc, man.
And there's that one shot towards the end of that package of Vince, Shane, and Triple H all coming out to the ring to confront Orton and Legacy.
So cheesy. That's like such a Triple H and Vince like, oh yeah, we should be the main event here.
I know.
Should have been HBK Undertaker.
Oh yeah, in fact that's how I watched the show.
Oh really?
I watched that match last. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But I'd heard this match wasn't that great, but I didn't think it was terrible.
The finish was so anticlimactic.
Oh, it really was.
Because it was all like, it was just Triple H. Like, Orton pulled out the sledgehammer. Triple H used the sledgehammer on Orton.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Well, here, the sequence of events kind of went. Orton goes outside the ring to get the sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
When he's coming back into the ring, Triple H punts him.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then Triple H gets the sledgehammer, hits Orton with it. That's okay. Mm-hmm. That shit went right to pedigree.
Yeah.
In between, Triple H decided to drop like a dozen punches on Orton.
Yeah.
It just felt like more match after that.
Right.
It should have been
right.
punt, sledgehammer, pedigree, done.
And I think the point of it, of all the punches, because you're right, but I think the point was, I'm going to inflict damage. The crowd should at this point be super into Triple H. This is in Triple H's head. The crowd will be totally behind me because this guy, he did a draping DDT on Stephanie and he kissed her and he punted her. And people are usually like, yeah, but isn't Stephanie kind of a jerk sometimes? You know? Like, oh, they're going to total sympathy. They're going to be huge, big heat.
Dad, I'm a huge face now.
Dad, I'm a huge face right now. Suck it. And so they're going to be huge on me, hitting Randy there with the sledgehammer. And then I'll punch him a bunch and they'll be really, really fired up. But really, they were just like, okay, we see where this match is going. If Randy had kicked out of all that and then extended it by another 2 minutes, that could have been interesting. But that's kind of a face thing to do.
I know.
But it's like I feel like nobody really cared because nobody really likes the McMahons as characters.
Especially his faces.
Yeah, totally his faces. That's the point.
Well, maybe Shane. People like Shane.
Now they do, but I think they were kind of ambivalent towards him back then.
Oh,
like, what was he really doing back then?
I don't remember.
I feel like because that was towards the end of him being around.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I just think they sort of miscalculated how much people actually cared about them as good people.
Yeah.
They weren't believable as good people. They weren't believable as sympathetic people. Sympathetic characters, exactly.
I know. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think if Triple H hadn't punched Orton in the face about a dozen times, if it was punt, sledgehammer, pedigree, it would have went over better.
Well, yeah, I mean, and also there has to be like a struggle there. Once you hit somebody with a sledgehammer, they're out. There's that you rob the opportunity of a struggle. Like, you have good and bad. There needs to be, like, good has to be on the precipice of getting destroyed by bad, and then you come back and the crowd pops for that. But it wasn't there. And on top of that, like, once you hit Randy with a sledgehammer, he was pretty much out for the rest of the match.
I know. No, he was out.
And so
he was selling TKO.
He was selling concussion. And so the crowd doesn't even get the satisfaction of the villain. It's not that you're knocked the villain out. It's that the villain has to understand that he's losing.
That he's been beaten. That's where the satisfaction comes in.
Yeah. But if he's concussed, if he's knocked out, then you're just,
Then you're just beating up
you're beating a dead horse.
An unconscious person. Not exactly a face move.
No.
I did like how this match started. We're about a minute into it. Orton hits an RKO, lines Triple H up for a punt. Triple H gets out of the way and then hits Orton with a pedigree. Yeah. It's all within like the first 90 seconds of the match.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is awesome. This would be great.
Yeah.
They're just picking up right where Undertaker and HBK left off.
Yeah.
Infinite finishers.
Lacey had made her dinner and came in while I was watching this, and she sits down and it's like just in the thick of like this right here.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so slow and so plodding, and she's sitting there eating. She's like, how can you watch this all the time? And so I was like, hold on. And I opened up the PWG bit with a slow-mo and then the butt plug.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I like to watch more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after watching this Orton Triple H match, I thought this was better than Triple H Reigns. Because at least there's not rest holds. There's never really a rest hold.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
The pace was decent.
Triple H Reigns was just a bad match.
That was a plodding, boring
this
match.
This was just a regular match that fizzled.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, that Triple H Reigns match was just boring.
Yeah.
It was like Tanahashi Billy Gunn.
Yeah. I was never bored by this match, but no, that's not to say it was a good match.
Yeah.
Maybe it went on 5 minutes too long.
Yeah. I feel like I just feel like you're right, because it opened hot. I just feel like it didn't really carry that passion with it.
I didn't really feel like, since the stipulation was in place that Triple H could lose by DQ or count out.
They never really played into that.
Orton never did.
Yeah.
Orton should have been taunting Triple H the whole time to get himself DQ'd.
Yeah.
Triple H DQ'd.
Should have been like exposing his junk, saying, come on, hit it.
Whatever he thought he needed to do.
Kick me in the ball sack.
For Triple H to get disqualified, he should have done that. Instead, it was just Triple H losing his temper, the ref saying, you better stop or I'm going to disqualify you.
Stop that now.
And then Triple H would stop. Even the end when he was punching Orton's unconscious body, the ref was like, "You better stop him, disqualify you." Triple H probably just said, "All right, pedigree time.
This is Yano.
Randy, we're taking this home."
Yeah, Randy's taking home. Keep on playing like you're unconscious. People love a villain who's unconscious, who can't defend themselves.
I know.
I think that's what he thought. I think he thought that everybody would be like super into that. Yeah, you get him. But no. Anyways.
No.
Let us know what you guys saw in the comments. But first, we have to let you guys at home know which pay-per-view we're going to be doing next. Now, it's too late for you to vote if you're a patron, because the vote happened before this video went up, obviously, because we're about to tell you what won. However, if you like, at the $10 Patreon mark, pledging to our channel,
you can vote. See, this is going back to the beginning where we obviously don't know what we're doing.
It's fizzling out. Just
it
like
is. Let's just get to it. All right, here are your 3 options.
Here are the 3 options that
will be up for vote.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know why we give the option. Just for your own information, this is what was up for vote.
So you know what could have been. First, Clash of Champions 14, the debut of the Shockmaster.
We went for all bad.
Yes.
We went for all bad stuff.
The WCW Monday Nitro from September 25th, 2000. The night that Vince Russo was WCW champion.
This is when Vince Russo won the WCW championship. He's been big in the news lately with his restraining order on Jim Cornette. When I say in the news, I mean like nerdy Twitter podcast news.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be funny to watch a Nitro from 2000 and B, Vince Russo booking himself to win the belt against Booker T.
I know.
And then our last option is the Wrestling Classic, which is kind of the forgotten second pay-per-view to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it happened after WrestleMania 1 in November of 85.
It's a tournament, and none of the matches last more than 9 minutes. The longest match is 9 minutes long. The shortest match is 13 seconds.
Can't wait.
It's 15 matches on the card, and they're all super short.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And there's one match on here that it's only one of 5 matches that got a negative 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer. Junkyard Dog.
So you're rooting for this one, is what you're saying.
I'll be happy with any of these. I'll be honest. I will be totally happy.
Yeah, we really did stack the deck to make sure we get something that will give us something to talk about.
Exactly. It's all bad. I mean, the Wrestling Classic might have some. None of the matches are all that long.
No, I heard the Macho Man matches are pretty decent.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Macho Man's good. So yeah, Wrestling Classic. What the heck?
Oh, it's the Progress logo.
Oh, it's Progress logo. That's
cool.
cool. Show up here. Yeah, they can't see it.
No.
Anyway,
so the winner of this week's vote is
Nitro from September 25th, 2000. Vince Russo wins the title.
That was a horrible idea.
Oh, man. So that's what we're going to be watching. That's your homework for next week. And until then, all these are on the WWE Network. So you can check them out there. And until next week, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.